How we going? How we going? Good. Right, this is going to be a quick video. Right, I've already put up quite a few already. Right, making up for, in the past. Right, people have been asking me, come on, JB, put up some more videos. Right, that's good. I like that. Want some more comments though? Can you put some more comments, people? I want to, ask me some questions. That'd be good. Right. Now, if you go to my Facebook, I've just put up my bike. Right. So you have to go to my Facebook to see my bike. I don't know where it went. It's either on Reels. Anyway, so it's playing music. That way then I can't get copyrighted, because I'm not putting it on YouTube. Anyway, I just received a comment from, obviously, someone who listens to me. And they were quite honest that I like this, right? I do like this, right? And I totally agree, right? And this person, I'll name them, Chris, right? Put up, it was a good comment, as well as Paul. I'll do the same in there. I'll answer Paul's question too, as well, because Paul asked me what do they do with the stuff. But let me get back to Chris, right? Chris said, I don't always agree with what you have to say, JB, and that's fine. That's good, right? I'm not here to force people to believe what I say, right? And that I just want people to know this, right? Okay, I've seen a bit of life, right? And I may have seen it in regards to where it starts from, like other people mightn't have seen it, and how it starts and how you combat it and what those people are really like, right? You see them on the end of the stick. I've seen them get there, right? I'm a pretty good judge of character. It's been, security and everything else like that I've done. Yeah. I've had to be, right? I've still got my head on my shoulders. Anyway, now he said, as he said, he doesn't always agree what I've got to say. Listen, I'm as probably a lot of people are going to laugh when I say this. I don't like violence. I detest it. Okay, it, but I guess what I'm saying is I don't like needless violence. Okay, and I will endeavour to use everything in the book, everything at my disposal, to gravitate away from violence. Okay, the thing that I will not do to stop violence, I will not bow down to it. I will not walk away. I will not be insulted or belittled. And I will not have anyone I care about or people I'm there to care about or look after be intimidated, threatened in any way. Right? I won't. It just won't happen with me. If you want that, go get someone else. But I'm the one, regardless of how many are in front of me, right? And that will stand up for the people I care about, love, and the people I'm paid to look after and stuff like that, right? If I'm going to put my life on the line for someone I'm paid for it, imagine what I'm going to do for someone I care about. Imagine what I'm going to do for the person I don't even know in the street who's an innocent person. Right, we got that? That's what I'll do, a lot. So needless violence I don't like, but there is a need for violence in some cases, right? We used to have a joke, we used to say, see those people, those people who just need constant panel beating, you don't even have to know them to know that they're an arsehole. We've all had this gut feeling. People, what I want you to do is I want you to get in touch with yourself, right? There's been a number of things happen over the past, say, 8 years. It's changed a lot of people's minds and a lot of people's opinions, and also made people forget a lot of things, a lot of the old ways. We've been brainwashed in a particular way because it's just constantly hitting us in the face. We don't even know it, right? And as I said in this video I made today, right, what they call mental health today, years ago, was called a nervous breakdown, right? Mental health, for me, right, and I'm sure a lot of others, when you talk to them, they've all hit a lull spot. Now, hitting a bad spot doesn't mean you've got mental health issues. It just means you're not handling it the best way. And that always depends on what it is, right? Some people can handle things better than others. Me, I can handle death. I can't handle cruelty, right? Needless death, anything needless with me, I can't handle it. Anything that was needed to be done, I can handle that. Right? If it's got a good reason to it, I can handle that. Okay? I've been in situations where that's had to be the case. Right? Now, my grandfather, as I've said, was in the war. Okay? Both World War One and Two. Right? Very rare, but he was. Now, he fought in parts of the war. He was in Borneo, the Middle East, and stuff like that. We were talking the shittest areas of the world, of the war. Borneo, with the Gurkhas, and in the Middle East, we're talking some shit areas, mate. Bloodthirsty. Some of the worst battles happened over in those areas. Now, my grandfather wasn't much for his medals. He didn't even tell anyone he was in the war. Right? He used to hide his trunk box, out of sight, out of mind. Me as a kid, I pulled it out one day, and he saw me going through it. And he went to yell at me. I won't forget this. I was in the garage. Funny how the garage, man cave garage. My grandfather didn't drink either. Okay. He was hurting. I used to watch him, because I shared a bedroom with him. And I used to watch him get into bed, and he'd be like this. And then over a couple of hours, he'd finally stretch out, He used to walk like a bent nail, made out of iron though. I'll show you how he used to walk. Right, just watch this. This is how he used to walk, my granddad. And he used to go around. He was a bit of what they used to say, a street angel, home devil. Yeah. He loved my grandma. But when he used to get out of bed, not all the time, but every now and again, you'd see these little black things, about half the size of a 1 cent piece. Right? I wonder what they were. It didn't happen all the time. First time I touched one, it was metal. That was the shrapnel still coming out of him. And then a big piece came out, just slipped out of the night, pushed it way out. And yeah, I've got that piece of shrapnel somewhere. Now, my grandfather, he didn't like violence. He was not a violent man. But he knew to not like violence, you have to know violence. And you have to be able to give it, but not violence. You have to be able to stop it, end it. Not paid there to fight. He said this to me one day. He said, boy, he said, you are going to be tested. You all are going to be tested. He said, you've got to be hard. You want to help so many people. This was just a kid. But he saw that I'd grown up pretty quick with my upbringing. And he knew he'd seen some horrible things, But anyway, getting back to him walking in the garage and me going through his Foot Locker, right? He went to yell at me, and oh mate. I love my grandfather, I did. At the same time, I feared him too. I feared hurting him, disappointing him. I didn't fear a whack from him. No. Back then, kids, we didn't fear so much the smack. It was the pain of knowing we disappointed our parents or our grandparents or an elder, just in general, But anyway, he went to, I could see he went from 0 to 100, red. And before he went, he'd seen how I'd unpacked his footlocker, and I cleaned down the bench, and I got some newspaper, and I laid that down. So when I took things out of his footlocker, I put them on the clean piece of paper, which was on a clean bench, and I was stacking them the same way that he had. And he didn't say anything. He sat down. And we had moments like this, my grandfather and I, just like my grandmother and I. You know, we had moments like this. We didn't talk. There was a lot of talking with our eyes. We were reading each other as body language. Now I know my grandfather, you know, he had to do a lot of things to human beings in the war. Yeah. It wasn't until I'll give you an idea of where he was. I was that young, I didn't realise. But the story it stayed with me, you know, and I'm like, he was at Auschwitz. He was where they were gassing the Jews. And he said to me, he told me this story, he said, just in one night, you know, there was always a mate, because that's the way they debriefed them back then. It was a mate. He knew it was him. And he said to me, he said, I was in a position, and he said, it was sort of, he'd get a bit angry, not at me or anything, just if you know, something I say, if I was upset about something or something was getting me down, he'd always say, you know, I had to put up with this when I was in the war. I had to stand there and you know, see this fat bastard German, right? You know, as the ladies walked down and walked to him, and he had a big pole here, big wooden pole here, and they'd walk up to him and they'd be holding their children, right? And he'd grab them, he'd grab their children, their babies, and he'd by the arm, right, he'd just snatch them, and he'd just go bash with their head straight into the pole. Yeah, my problem's gone. I'm now watching my grandfather, you know, describing something that I knew he'd never do, but he had to stand there, and that's what he said. He said, I had to stand there and I had to watch this bastard, you know, do this. He said, you know, and then they'd get the older children and they'd sit them, you know, in front of each other, and they'd see how far one bullet used to be able to get through their head, you know. And I'd be just like, and he said to me, it took everything in me to not do something. But I had to look at the bigger picture. It wasn't until I was older I realised where he was. And if he had done anything, he would have followed the plan. He had to watch some Jews die. Yep. He had to stand there and do that. That's his nightmare. And he was the man to do it, you know. He could do it. He could stand there. And I could too. Because there's a bigger picture of saving others, a lot more. If he went off at that stage, they're all going to go. But it tells me what else. Whether I agreed with my grandfather or not, I had to respect him in regards to what he'd been through and his understanding of things. To stand there and watch that and not react, I question any man's strength. And it wasn't because my grandfather was scared. He knew that there was a bigger picture, and the bigger picture was to get them all out, as many. They wouldn't have been able to get any if we acted. And he used to tell me this story, and so was some of his mates. Not that he had many, but he only got 2 or 3. And the story used to go like this. They go, and I'll put it this way. I haven't changed it, but to make you understand, they used to go to people who sort of to other people of their own, but less, hadn't seen as much as them or whatever. They used to take the piss out of each other. Right? They go, hey, what's the difference between a priest and a knight? Right? And they go, and they'd answer it, and they go, well, the priest is for peace and harmony and everything else, and fairness, and the knight, he's just there getting drunk and killing and at night sleeping with women and blah, 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 like this. So why is it the priests walk with knights then? Because it's in the Bible. Priests walked with knights. Remember that. And they go, what are you talking about? Huh? I say, you missed that one, did you? So why did priests walk with knights? Regardless of what the knight used to do, get drunk, go to the village, pick up some women, there you go, and come back and have a wow for time, wake up in the morning, stick in the alcohol, everything, he'd be up with the priest, ready to walk, no matter what, in whatever condition. And the priest never said anything to him. He used to just go. You know why? Because that knight did nothing wrong by anybody, and there was full consent. Right? He didn't have his tent right next to the priest either, but it was in earshot and eyeshot. Right? He didn't do anything until the priest was comfortable in bed. Right? And the other thing is the priest knew the knight would have to do things for peace that needed to be done for peace. And that he would remember every thing he did. Because that's what you do. And that's your job. You have to remember every one you've taken. So, as much as people mightn't agree with the knight, just remember, priests walked with knights. Knights were never allowed to make money. Cheap, they went nines. Kings, a knight did not have to listen to a king. The king would make a knight, and as soon as he was knighted, that man was free to go anywhere and was recognised for his knighthood and what he stood for. That's why the knight's table is round. No one has a higher spot than anyone else. So I like what you said, Chris, that's good. Yeah. But also understand this, right? People see things differently. It's like I say it all the time. I love listening to people who say, I know my children, I know my child, but they've never ever taken their hand off the top of their child's head. Well, they've always been looking down on top of their child, so they don't know their child. The only way to know anybody, especially your children and your family, is to step back and watch them. So then you see them. Because only if you're looking down on their head, all you see is the top of their head. You don't see their faces. I don't like violence. I don't know how to stop it. I don't like needless violence. I don't like innocent being touched. Right? Now, thank you, Chris. That's in answer to your comment. And that's good. I like the feedback. I do. They're really good. It doesn't upset me at all. But there has to be understanding. And that's what I want to bring. I want to bring understanding. I want everyone to be able to take themselves out of the picture and look at it and understand it and give it some thought. That's what I want. If you can't do that, then you need to put your hand up, because you have to learn how to do that. Because then if you don't know how to do it, what you then have is a narrow mind and a harsh opinion. Right? Now, in answer to Paul's question, what do they do with all the belongings? Well, Paul, in most cases like that, when there've been a nice house or a dealer's house like that, unfortunately, they throw it away. Okay? They don't auction it, they throw it away. Or it goes into storage, right? For whatever time, right? So it either goes into storage or they throw it out. Okay? Whatever's, the police can take and give back to owners, like you saw the cars in that one and the push bikes and whatever, and just, that house had actually been overrun by Sudanese kids that had kicked in the door, right? No subtleties about it. Plus the owner had also gotten back in there as well. All right, there's a lot of those houses. Yeah, very sad. So, hope you enjoyed that. JB's answering to comments. Take care. Thank you very much, and go get a pie. See ya.